I'm like very surprised that there's this many people in here. This is very strange to me. Thank you for coming. We're just gonna talk while people come in. Someone ask a question so that when people come in, I'm awkwardly answering something they don't know where we started at. Okay, well, see, it feels fantastic to be at MAGFest. Should I sit down here? Or you guys want me to sit up here? Up there? Okay. I just feel like I'm like lording over everyone. Okay. It feels good to be here. I have been trying to get here for like the past 3 years or so. And finally, it worked out because I've got the greatest YouTube channel of all time, UpUpDownDown. Subscribe if you have yet to subscribe already. And so, it's always the crazy work schedule, so I never get to come. But since I've got the YouTube channel, I have a thing that says cons or video game events that I deem necessary to attend. I get to miss weekend shows and come do those instead. So we're here. Oh, double horns on the unicorn. Okay. Nice. What? A what? Binacorn. Even harder to find than the unicorn. Okay. Ask another question, someone. My what? Okay, so, I don't know, I've eaten a lot of spicy food, and I hate spicy food. Oh, I get it. I thought you were asking me literally about spicy food. Well, I think pineapple is disgusting, first off, so it should be on anything. It's fair. Amends. Very split crowd here today. Going to be a very opinionated panel. And I say you put water on the toothbrush before the toothpaste. But I don't know why we do that. I was having this talk with someone. I don't remember like when my parents taught me to brush my teeth. Does anybody remember? Like, you just know how to brush your teeth, but someone taught you that. So did they teach us to wet the toothbrush before we put the toothpaste on it? Is it common sense, or is it that thing where we all think the Monopoly guy has a monocle? What's the effect? The Mandela effect. Do we all suffer from the Mandela effect when it comes to brushing our teeth? Because yesterday morning, I tried to brush my teeth without putting water on the toothbrush, and I felt disgusting. What's that? Mike, what? Get him out of here! Where is security? This man is a problem. We need the FBI in here. Oh, microwave cereal. What kind of cereal are you microwaving? Like, are you microwaving Cocoa Krispies? Are you doing it before you put the milk in, or are you drinking hot milk? But you know what's good? Can you stand up, sir? Can you stand up, please? This man fights for his beliefs, and I applaud that. You're still booing him. Guys, Megaran is here. I don't think any mic is on. Oh, here you go.
It's a one-man show. This is not plugged up. Check.
Can we? So he texted me, he goes, do you have a moderator for your panel? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, what do you mean you don't know? You don't know what you're doing? I said, no. I never know what I'm doing.
No, if they tell you where to go, you go.
So do you want to sit down and we're just talking?
Yeah.
Questions and talking?
Yes, if I can get a mic to work. Check. Do we have
I think we're getting it. We're getting one.
Oh, it's coming.
So, do you like to microwave your milk before you drink it?
What? No. Thank you so much.
So they said
check.
he asked for a spicy take on food, and I thought he meant spicy food, like what's your favorite? But he meant like something that will split the crowd.
No one likes.
So what's your thing what was it? What was your thing?
I didn't pick a. Okay, so
here's my thing.
Yeah, go.
Banana pudding. Ever had it? Warm banana pudding. That's my thing.
What is wrong with that's like?
That's my hot take. That's my spicy take.
It's like eating like mucus. It's already not a good consistency, and then you want it warm? Like hot or warm? Because it's two very different things.
Warm, not hot.
Okay.
Hot is it's gross.
So there's a certain point where the temperature gets past. You're like, I can't eat this anymore.
32 seconds in the microwave.
Okay.
33 is no good.
So my food thing is I like to eat chocolate ice cream. It's delicious. I also like to eat Cool Ranch Doritos because they're delicious.
Where are you going here?
So I love putting them together in a bowl and mixing them up.
What?
It's so good. So okay, before you throw the hate, so I've always eaten this for whatever reason. I was just like, well, I like these two things. Why would I not add them together? Like a binacorn. So I was eating it one day, and do you remember Sci-Fi Channel used to play anime on Saturday mornings?
Yes.
So I was watching Akira, and at like 9 in the morning, which shouldn't happen if you're 12. You shouldn't see Akira when you're 12 at all.
Definitely
That's the first time I was like, what? They draw those in the anime? What? It's a real mess. Anyway, so you've seen that. So you know the part when, isn't it Tetsuo?
Yes.
He's the one who gets all messed up, right?
Tetsuo.
Yeah. So when he's turning into that like disgusting, deformed thing, and I'm eating it, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And my mom creeps over the shoulder. She's like, first off, what the hell are you watching? And secondly, she goes, are you eating Doritos and ice cream? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, is it chocolate ice cream and Cool Ranch Doritos? And I was like, yeah, how did you know that? She goes, I used to eat that when I was pregnant with you. And she goes, have I told you that before? And I was like, no. She goes, you just found that and started eating it. So yeah. She's like, you randomly have my pregnant cravings.
What?
And so I attest all the weird stuff that I eat to her. But also, the reason I like weird stuff, so things that I like, I love, and I never get sick of them. For instance, there was a 3-month period of my life that I may not be proud of, but college is college. I lived off of corn dogs and Cocoa Krispies. Legitimately all I ate. And people are like, oh, aren't you sick of that? Like, go, because you know, you like hit Walmart for like $5, you get like a bag of like grilled chicken or something. Like, can't you just do some of that? Like, no, this is what I want. This is what I need. And it's partially because, so I used to work in a biopsychology lab in college, right? And so when we do like the labs or whatever, they'd give us things to do in between time because we do something, have to wait like 8 hours, and then we test whatever we were doing. So to pass the time, they have these little brain teaser things. And so one of them was to test your senses, and this one specifically was for taste. And so you put this blue dye on your tongue, and then there's like a special magnifying glass that your friend looks at your tongue with, because the dye raises your taste buds. And so you can kind of count your individual taste buds in a certain area on your tongue. And so when we counted, I actually have 3 times the amount of taste buds people have on average.
Whoa.
Very, very, very weird. But the actual scientific term for that is a super taster. Much science.
Super taster.
So I taste things very well. That's a.
You taste things that the rest of us.
I didn't know how to finish that sentence
Can't
without being disgusting.
taste.
Sir with his hand up in the jacket. Ooh.
We're probably the 2 worst people to
Yeah.
ask about Smash at this entire convention.
Yeah, 100%. Okay,
Who
so
you got?
I'll say Kirby, obviously.
Yes.
But that's literally because, I didn't play Smash at all before this one. So because I played it once or twice, and then I was like, oh, I'm bad at this. I'll watch people play. And so, we were in Las Vegas, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, let's play Smash. And I was just like,
I'm trash at this.
Yeah. And so I finally got it, and I'm playing through the spirit thing, the adventure. So you get all the spirits.
It's really fun.
And you start as Kirby, and I just never stopped playing as Kirby. And so that's my main. I literally have nothing else.
Dude,
So
that's what I did, and then I got to Simon, and Simon is so dope. So try Simon. He's super good. So those are my two. I don't ever have a third.
yeah, with the Fatal Fury hat.
Oh wait, you don't have a Fatal Fury hat.
Just trying to
You picked the most annoying character. Okay.
That works.
Yeah. So you ask like good players, like, yo, who's the cheesiest person like that you don't want to face, and then you pick that guy. That works. Pikachu. Who is the cheesiest character in Smash? Anybody know? K. Rool.
Good rule.
Mega Man's trash in that game. At least, no. In the first one, I was like, why is he broken? This is when I played it on, I guess it was 3DS, and I was like, Mega Man's busted, But after a while, he got pretty cool. My friend tears me up with Little Mac, so he must be pretty good.
Yeah. He's unfair.
Fatal Fury.
Yes. Tekken. 3,000%. So, one of the things that's very interesting, so, when did Tekken 7 drop? Like 2 years ago now at this point?
Yeah, a couple years.
So, we've got, I'm going to go back in time to tell this story. So, there used to be a situation in the locker room, in the backstage area, like where video games weren't allowed. So we call Shelton Benjamin the godfather of the video games because he was like the only one who like stood strong, like in the Attitude Era, like, no, I'm bringing my Vita and I'm playing whatever I want. And everybody else was like, oh, you're gonna get heat if you're playing video games. Like, oh, well then quit playing cards. So anyway, this is a soapbox. So we fast forward to 2013, 2014, and there's this thing called a games case. It's a big briefcase. It's very heavy. There's a screen inside of it. You can put your PlayStation, your Xbox, whatever you want in there. And so it's like pretty easy to travel with. So started bringing that around, took it on like an overseas tour, and that's when we had the first Madden tournament. But we filmed a bunch of it, but it's never been released because it was before I had the gaming channel. So at some point in the life of UpUpDownDown, the unreleased Madden tournament footage will come out. And it is the most hilarious thing that we've got on tape, like in there. I can't tell you who won. That's spoiling it.
Oh, yeah, you gotta wait for that.
But I can tell you that there is an amazing game between Mark Henry and Hornswoggle.
Oh, my gosh. Sold. I'm in.
And so, yeah. So, what's that? Saltiest? If I answer that, it tells you who gets second place. Because I run tournaments as they should be run, and rather than saying, oh, we've got first place gets 60%, second place gets 30%, 60, and third place gets 10. I don't do that. We say first place gets 80%, third place gets 20%, second place gets screwed. Because that is how it should be. Because finals are exciting, but they're way more exciting when you have the chance to not gain anything at all after doing that work. So what we did for that tournament was the second place, everyone who's in the tournament gets to chop them. But so it took like the whole 2 weeks to go through the whole tournament. And so we're talking about this because sometimes we'll fly and then we get on a bus and then the bus takes us to like the next part of the airport, so whatever. So we're all on that bus and we're talking about it because we're so pumped that the finals are like going to be that night before the show. And people who aren't involved in it are like, oh, what are you guys talking about? So I explained that to them. And I think it was one of the Bellas. They're like, so everybody chops the person who loses this match? And I was like, yeah. She goes, can I buy in on that? I was like, well, the buy-in was $10 for everybody. Yeah, I guess you can buy in for a chop. And then the whole bus, it hit like wildfire. Everyone was just handing me $10 bills. And I was like, oh God. And so the people in the finals were watching this happen, and they were just like, oh. And so it's a very good build. Anyway, so that happens. Continue bringing the games in the locker room. Eventually, UpUpDownDown is created, and then people start. We call it the lab. We set up the lab because that's where we do work. So people, at any point in the time in the locker room before a show, you might see like 4 or 5 PlayStations set up, 1 or 2 Xboxes. People have their Switches. So on a good day, you walk in and it sounds like an arcade. And the whole reason that we wanted to kind of change the culture was because it needs to be a completely stress-free environment. Like we're all adults here. Are there children in here? Okay, it's fine. So we all know what wrestling is. We get it. We're play fighting with our friends in shiny pants. It is LARPing at its highest pinnacle.
Yes, it is.
You all watch LARPing on TV. I am a professional LARPer. Let's get down to brass tacks here, okay? So that means it needs to be as stress-free as possible because there are things happening on this earth that stress us out. There's things going on in the government. There's things going on in other countries. There's problems with people's families, with people's relationships. And people want to be stressed at a place where we are play fighting? Get that out of here. So finally, we got the whole video game stuff set up, and I know this is a very long-winded way to answer your question, but we got the whole video game thing set up, and we played Street Fighter for a little while. We played this, we played that, and I tried to get everybody on Tekken when it first dropped, and they're like, maybe I might have played this, but everyone was playing Madden, everyone's playing like NBA, 2K, and then finally, I don't know, it was maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I got the Usos to start really playing, and Kofi had played a little bit, so then we all kind of elevate together. So like we all started playing UFC at the same time. So we all kind of grow because we have like 10 people that always play. So finally I got them playing Tekken. And I was like, okay, cool. You guys are getting off Injustice. Come to Tekken. And then I kind of just let them play. And because I obviously I played a ton. So I'm not just going to like wipe the floor with them. I'm just going to kind of step back and let the kids play for a little bit. But now we're at a point where they understand so much about the game and they're hitting nasty combos. And we're at the point now where the whole locker room will pop when someone drops a combo.
Wow.
So we could literally see the elevation of like, oh cool, I got 2 hits. Now people are running like 10-string hits. People are like doing chain throws with King, but you see Jim Uso like drop a combo with Dragunov, and he's like, oh, so mad, and everyone's like, oh, and then brother like capitalizes and wins, and like that's how we spend our time, because it's like,
that's awesome.
I don't know, it's got to be fun, but Tekken is definitely our game of choice right now. There you go.
Great answer to a great question. That guy on the end here, you, sir.
I was wondering, what wrestlers as far as whether tag team
Have done what?
What wrestlers have influenced your career?
Okay, what wrestlers have influenced my career? I would say everybody that I've been in the ring with has definitely influenced my career, because you learn something from everybody every time that you're out there, regardless of how many years you've been doing it, regardless of how many times you've wrestled with that person, you learn something new, probably about yourself, about them, about how their mind works, because like I said, it's majority is improv. And so you learn their sense of humor, you learn how far they're willing to go to like put themselves out there to like look ridiculous for the sake of like the match being better, for the sake of it possibly being worse if you're just trying stuff out. But let's see, the people that made me want to wrestle is my idol's Too Cold Scorpio. So like, and I got into him because this was before I knew about like ECW and all that stuff. I grew up in Atlanta and I didn't know about indie wrestling. It was just WWF at the time and WCW. And so I see Too Cold Scorpio come out, and at that time he was Flash Funk. And so child like me, didn't realize that Raw was taped. So I thought, oh, this is live all the time. Yeah. It wasn't. So Flash Funk comes out and he's dancing. He's got 2 girls with him, the Funkettes, and they're dancing and they're killing it. And they go to commercial. When they come back, he's only halfway down the ramp. So in my brain, I was like, this dude just danced for 3.5 minutes and the crowd is still losing their minds. Like, what is this? This golden, shiny god of wrestling. And then he's like, what, like 6'2", 250, and he can do a moonsault leg drop?
Yeah.
What? So I saw that and I was like, well, I can't do that. But I thought that he was the first person, I don't know, that I kind of saw that was able to do like funny, jokey dancing stuff. But then when the bell rang, he was able to be taken seriously like as a competitor as well. And so that's kind of what I've modeled my career after. I've always been looking for that fine line, because there is a fine line between being able to do that stuff and like you can go full bore like we kind of do with New Day and just be ridiculous. But then you have to also be able to flip the other side of the coin and be taken seriously. So sometimes if you go too far into that realm of ridiculous, people can't take you seriously anymore. But we've done that, but we've been very lucky to find that sweet spot where people still like rock with us. But I think it's because, I don't know, we just do stuff that we would want to see in wrestling. Because we all grew up in the era of like Stone Cold and like The Rock, and everyone's like a big badass and like wants to come and like beat everybody up. It's like, we got like 30 of those guys. It's a variety show. We need to do something different. So when we brought the idea to Vince of us wanting to be a trio, we're just like, okay, so check it out. I'm just rambling. Just cut me off whenever if it's not.
No, this will probably answer other questions.
So
no.
Okay. So we explained to him. We were like, okay, first off, how you doing? You don't know me. I'm new here. You know Kofi and E. So we went in and we showed him a bunch of things that we had recorded. So we have a thing called pre-tapes. So if you see any like promos and stuff like during the show that are like on a green screen or something, that's from pre-tapes. So we'd jump in there and just cut promos and just try to get something down, and we'd bring them to him every week and be like, hey, we want to do something. And he goes, well, what's the deal? Like, what is this? We're like, we don't know yet, but we know that in wrestling, from what we've seen, there's 3 archetypes for black wrestlers. You're either the dancing black guy, the foreign black guy, or the big, strong black guy. And that was literally all 3 of us at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So we explained it was like we want to break that and just be something else. And he's like, okay, I can rock with that. Just keep bringing me. What's that? Yeah.
Said, I can rock with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh no. No.
Is that?
I'd have been like, well, this conversation is taking a turn. No, so he was cool with it, and he's like, okay, cool, just keep bringing me stuff, and we'll try to figure something out. And then so finally, it's maybe 8 weeks of doing that. We're just constantly trying to get up new ideas. We're like buying outfits, trying different stuff. And he goes, okay, brings us in the office. He goes, I got it. You guys are going to be preachers.
Preachers.
We're like, dope. And so he yeah. So he gets the theme music for us, and it's like this old like 20s gospel stuff, and it's just like, what is this? And so like I listen to it, and I'm like, maybe I'm messed up. So I bring it to Kofi, and he listens to it, and he goes, no, we gotta listen to it in the car. And we listen to it in the car with E, and he's like, we gotta listen to it with headphones on. Like something's wrong with this. And I was like, no, this song is just not good. And so I'm sure you guys have heard stories like, oh, Vince is this scary, dominating figure. Like, no, he's a grown man. He's a billionaire. He's a grown man. But he respects you as a grown man or a grown woman if you come and speak to him as such. You believe in yourself, and he will believe in you. Because the whole thing is he's running a business. So if you come in, hello, sir, he can't work with that, because if you don't believe in your stuff to him, then he knows you're not going to believe in your stuff when it comes to being on his show. So, logic. So we walk in, and he's like, so what do you guys think of the song? And I was like, honestly? He's like, honestly. I was like, I think it's terrible. And he goes, well, what do you have? And so I pulled up Stomp by Kirk Franklin. I was like, if we're gonna do like gospel stuff, something like that's what we're gonna be inspired by with like our music, like something like this. And so we gave him like the whole Kirk Franklin catalog, right? And so he's like, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, he goes, okay, I got the music. We go, okay, cool. Let's see what he's got. So in his office, he's got like a TV so we can see what's going on like out in the ring, and then a bunch of speakers. It's kind of a really cool setup. And so he goes, okay, brings us in there, and we're sitting in there, and Road Dogg's in there. And he asks the guys to play the music in the truck, and plays it, and it's so loud, it's blaring, but it's our current theme music. And he's sitting there, and he's... He is feeling it. And I'm like,
Wow.
but like you can't look around and be like, what? You can't react. So I'm just like kind of like hitting Road Dogg with my knee like, do you see this? This is fantastic. This is fantastic. So I'm very biased. I love the song purely for that moment that I got to experience. But he played that for us. He's like, okay, is this more in line with what you guys are thinking? We're like, yes, this is cool. This works. So then we did all the vignettes of us doing all the stuff. And the biggest thing, going back to what we were talking about with the archetypes and not being super excited about being preachers, what we were super excited about was the opportunity to do anything together, because we knew that regardless of what the gimmick was, based on the chemistry that we had, we would be able to figure out how to steer the ship in the direction we wanted to go. All we need is a foot in the door, and now we're in your house selling you vacuums. So once we did the preacher thing for a little while, like he thought, oh, this is gonna be an amazing thing. Everyone's gonna love this. And we're like, like this is the 2000s.
Like, no.
If
So
this
you
was-
knew that this wasn't.
Oh,
gonna work.
100%. 100%. But in my brain, it was like,
like, we're here.
Yeah, because we were working so hard with him on everything. It was like, well, as long as we're booked, we're on TV, whether we're cutting promos, whether doing matches. The first time that we came out, it was like, people were like, oh, okay, maybe let's see where this goes. And then the second time we came out, they were like, oh, God, no. It's them again. But they were making noise, and that's all we need. And so people are just booing us out of buildings. And then I was like, okay, guys. So I used to be a cheerleader in college. And one of the things that they taught us was people that are up in the back, when we don't have microphones, they need to know what to chant when. So at the beginning of the game, when our mics are all working, you do whatever chant. So for instance, in wrestling, we go, shame. And so you see how there's emotion going with it. So then without you even saying the word, if I'm doing this, you know to say it. So then it kind of adds an extra layer to it. So it's like, we need something like that. And so that Vince and everybody in the back knows like they're doing this noise. They're making this noise for us. And so that's when I sent them a video of me in my house, like doing that clap, doing the New Day clap. It's like, what if it's something like this? So it's like kind of different. Yeah. See?
Dude, J Rocks. Dude.
Yes.
What? Yeah. J Rocks.
Okay. See, it feels good, right?
Feels good. Let's talk about how New Day Sucks came about. Was that a
Okay.
crowd thing, or was that like?
So that's the next part. So I sent this to them, and they're like, yeah, sure, let's try it. And so that's when we started beating on the mat like that, and then people kind of started coming with it, and we're just hoping like, oh, so you hear them clapping, right? They're not just regular clapping. That's clapping for us.
Rhythmic clapping?
Yeah.
That's for y'all.
And so then we're like, okay, we need to say something with it. And so that's when we started doing like the New Day Rocks thing. It's like, okay, so we're trying that. People still hate it. But then we were overseas, and we're wrestling against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. And legit, the entire place, as soon as we came out, they were doing the clap while chanting New Day Sucks. And legit, so like truth be told, I'm a piece of crap. I'll say it. I'm a horrible person.
Okay.
So I'm a heel at heart. Industry terms. So I got super excited because I was like, yes, we can turn. So I'm losing my mind internally, but Ian Kofi know me, so they're like, yeah, you get what you want finally. And so they're doing all that, the crowd's doing all that, and legit in the ring, we had an idea of what we were gonna do, and we were the good guys, they were the bad guys, and as they're like circling around the ring, we're hearing all this, and the crowd will not stop screaming, New Day Sucks. And Cesaro, he looks at it, goes, switch. TJ goes, switch. Kofi, switch. E, switch, ref, switch. And so it was like, okay, let's switch. And so we just did a complete match on the fly with us as the bad guys, and people were so into it. And so we were like, I think we did it. And so we get back, we did that for 2 weeks, and that's how it was. So we get back to the States, and we tell them all about it. We go to Vince's office, we're like, Vince, like, we have to turn. Like, they hate us. They've been chanting New Day Sucks for 2 weeks at us. He goes, oh, well, that's different. That's on tour at like the live events. We'll see if something happens on TV. And we're like, okay, please, dear God. And so they're chanting it a little bit enough for him to hear it. He's like, I don't know. I don't know about it. So then I went back into his office the next week. I was like, I honestly believe that we have to turn or we're going to be dead in the water. And I left a part of the story out. So when I walked into his office and said, hey, how you doing? And he didn't know who I was. At one point, I heard that he was calling me Ezekiel.
Ezekiel Woods.
Yes. But when we started bringing him like those promos weekly that I was talking about, he stops one day in the middle of it, and he goes, you can talk your ass off. And I was like, that's why you hired me. I'm not a big man, but I got the gab. And so anyway, fast forward. So I go to his office again, and I think like Kofi had a match or he was doing something, whatever. We weren't together for some reason. And I went in the office and I said, I really believe we have to turn. He goes, why do you think that? I said, because honestly, in this day and age, people don't enjoy good things. And we're all cynical. That's how it is now. If this was 82, that would have been so hot, but it's not. So he's like, well, I don't believe that people will ever see Kofi Kingston as a heel. He's been a babyface too long. And I said, I guarantee you, if you give me a microphone for 4 weeks straight, they will boo Kofi Kingston.
Wow.
And
sure enough.
yeah. And he goes, 4 weeks? I said, 4 weeks. He goes, and if this guarantee doesn't come to fruition, then you got 60 dudes in NXT that deserve my spot more than I do. He's like, so I can send you home, I can fire you. I said, if I can't do it, you should fire me because I shouldn't be here. And he goes, all right, we'll start tonight. Got the microphone. Oh, it gets better. We talked, they didn't boo Kofi. Next week. Talked, they didn't boo Kofi. Third week. So I'm after week 2 and they didn't boo him, I'm like, oh. I might have to use my degree. No one wants to use their degree. Third week, talked, handed the mic to Kofi, and I heard, boo, just a little bit, and I was like, please. Like it's like when you see a fire start, you're like, please, engulf everything, please. And so because at this point, I'm freaking out. And so, but they booed, and I was like, okay, if he heard that, like, we're good. Please, dear God, I hope he heard that. We walk in the back, and there's like a little desk where he sits with like the monitors and stuff. We walk back there, and he stands up. So I'm walking from this way, coming in, and he goes,
wow. Wow.
yeah. And then that's when the ridiculous stuff started happening, because like I legit have a notebook of things that I tried to do or told people I wanted to do when I was in FCW, NXT. They're like, no, that's ridiculous. You can't ever do that. It's like, okay, watch me. I wore a shirt one time when I was tagging with R-Truth. Again, I'm rambling, so if anyone has like a big thing to say, just stop me. When I was tagging with R-Truth, I wore a shirt out while he had a match, and I was like managing him, and it was Vegito, and it said over 9,000 on it. I come back, and somebody, remain nameless, was like, what is that shirt? It's like, it's Vegeta, Dragon Ball Z. It's like, you can't wear that out there. Okay. I'm still like, I'm there on the road for like 2 months. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll wear something else. Then, that year, at WrestleMania, someone was in the crowd. Her name was Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey had on the same effing shirt.
Yes, she did.
So that is when the spite set in, because she didn't get talked to. So I said, I'm not gonna wear a Vegeta shirt on TV. I'm gonna be Vegeta. So just so you're aware, that moment of my life was a cathartic release of 2 years of spite. And I have a lot left in me. Yes.
I believe it.
Ooh.
How did you convince WWE to let you use a trombone?
So we had passed after the head nod moment. Like I said, that's when it went off the rails, and it went from being one of the stereotypical like archetypes of just, hey, Here's black guys on wrestling. They're doing this. It turned into what we wanted to do. So yes, we do dance around a lot, but it's because we have chosen to go that route, because that's what we like, not that someone else is having us dance like puppets. So once we got into that realm of the dancing and just doing dumb stuff and just ridiculous, talking about like fan fiction and stuff like that, they said, I think we won the titles in Brooklyn, that we won them that Sunday. And so Monday they're like, oh, we're doing a thing. Like you guys are you can sing if you want. You can kind of do whatever. I was like, oh yeah, let's sing. So we're kind of kicking around ideas. They're like, oh, what if you do New York, New York? I'm like, okay, cool. And we legit just toe the line. We just push and see like, what can we do now? And I go, I was like, because we're like texting with them. And I'm like, hey, guys, I can play trombone. We should ask for a trombone. They're like, yeah, try it. So we text them, hey, can we get a trombone? Ooh. He's like, can we get a trombone? And then the text back, you see the dots, and we're just like, and it just comes through, yeah, sure. Mind you, there was a point when we were still, but before we turned, where I sprained my ankle, high ankle sprain, so I'm out for like 2.5 months, right? We were supposed to have a 6-man match at a pay-per-view, and since I was out, I couldn't wrestle. And again, someone who will remain unnamed was like, hey, can you just stand on the apron? No, I'm not wrestling. I'm not doing anything in the match. My ankle is messed up. Like, can we at least get like just a backstage where I'm laid out on the ground and our opponents have like beat me up? It's like anything, like a 10-second thing. We couldn't even get that to explain the fact that I'm injured. And just come out on TV with a boot on. It'll be fine. To the point where, can I have a trombone? Yeah, sure. Like, what? So we had the trombone for the song, learned a couple of notes, and then the props guy was at the bottom of the ramp, so I'm supposed to hand it off to him, and then we go to the match. But as we got done with it, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to play a trombone on TV again. So I just like waved him off, and he's like, okay, cool. And I kept it for the match. Wow. And so during stuff, I was just playing the trombone like an idiot. And I was having the time of my life. And during the commercial break, the cameraman is in tears, and he comes over to me. I'm like, Stu, are you okay? He's looking at me like his eyes are like bloodshot. I'm like, what happened to you last night? And he goes, oh my God, you have to keep playing the trombone. It's like, okay, I can do that, but like, what are you laughing so hard about? He's like, I hear Vince is damn near in tears. He's like cackling on the headset every time you make a sound with that thing. So I was like, okay, cool. So we kept playing. We come in the back, and as soon as we come through, he gets up, he goes, you are never allowed to go out there without a trombone.
Wow.
And that's how
there it is.
Forward.
You, sir, with a beautiful beard.
When will you be challenging Kenny Omega again?
Kenny Omega challenge.
So it's interesting because people always ask me about stuff. So if I'm playing a game, like, oh, you couldn't beat Kenny in that game. Yo, he's nice in Street Fighter. That's literally it. That's not an O. We did a gauntlet of 10 games. He didn't touch me in anything. We can play Windjammers, Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York, whatever he wants to play. I'll play him. You can, matter of fact, you can film me saying this right now and then tweet it. Everybody get your phones out. Film me saying this and tweet it to him so his Twitter just blows up for no reason.
Are you ready? Okay.
Hold on, we give everybody.
Give them a second to get their cameras out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First off, I'd like to say congratulations on your performance at Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny. You did a great job. Fantastic. What a great performer he is, right? Yeah. But the thing is, you can get me in Street Fighter, but you cannot beat me in anything else at all, ever. You cannot touch me in any game ever.
Yeah.
Tweet it to him. So,
wow.
So then I don't know the next time we're gonna play something. We normally run into each other at like the bigger fighting game tournaments. So like we normally see each other at CEO if I get the chance to go. hopefully he gets to come to Evo or something. We're just trying to get linked up to do more video game stuff because now the company is way more lenient with all that. And especially since UpUpDownDown is kind of like its own little entity, kind of got leeway to do whatever. So when we got to do the thing at E3 with Young Bucks and the New Day, like, oh no, it's all good.
That was historic. It was great.
So I had the idea and I hit him up and I was like, hey, so we've got like a pretty storied rivalry. Like it's like 2 years deep. Like we got to do something big for this year. I was like, I think that I can get all 6 of us at E3. He was like, there's no way that's happening. I was like, I think we can. And so I asked the guy who helps me with UpUpDownDown, and we were doing stuff with Capcom at the time. And so I pitched the idea to them. And I was like, but if I go ask, you know how when we were kids and you want to go to like a sleepover or you want to stay over at your friend's house, you go ask your mom. Go ask your mom if I could stay over. It was that situation. So I was like, Capcom, if I go ask, they're going to say no. But if you go ask, we got a better chance. So since you are the sponsor, you are the one who's over here, you ask about them coming in, and then we can have you also ask about us coming in, like on the New Japan side. And so maybe 2 weeks later, got a text like, yeah, we're good. What? He goes, yeah, so we'll just announce Young Bucks, New Day, or sorry, Elite versus New Day at E3. I was like, no. This is wrestling. We have to have a contract signing. So I wrote up an entire angle for this. So we'll do the contract signing on this day. That gets released. Then we do something the next day where I say I've got 2 friends who you obviously know who they are, but then we do a video with them, and it's like, oh, who's Kenny gonna find? And everybody knows who it is. But then it gets released that it's the Bucks, and it's like, oh my God. So like for that whole week, we're just dropping stuff that makes it more important. And it's the way that we explained it to the Capcom guys, because they enjoy wrestling. It's like, so a title match is cool when you know it's coming, but then the day before, it gets even more exciting when you say, it's also a cage match. And so we just wanted to build the hype that way. So if we do something again, which hopefully we will soon, we'll be able to create some sort of cool build, because we're just trying to create a buzz, and we know people like wrestling, we like it too, so we want everybody to come together as one.
Heck yeah. Gentleman with a joystick.
So I know you're a pretty big Tekken player, but since I've been here, I pretty much beat everybody in the game room already, so I just want to know.
Wow. Challenge.
This sounds like a challenge.
Challenge. Well,
He says he's beaten everyone in the game room, and he wants to know when you're going to step up.
well. First off,
Unless you're scared.
I am very in touch with my personal self, so doing some macho stuff is not going to get me to do anything, okay? I am a strong, independent woman, okay? So I have stuff going on until 9:30 tonight. So after that, I will most likely be in the game room. So if you happen to also be there, I might be slurring my words a tad. But you can catch this whooping. Yeah.
I'll be looking for you, sir. How about somebody in the back? I saw a backhand way back on the right. Yeah, you, sir. Striped sleeves. Yes. Yeah, you. Yeah. Good question. I ask them that every day. How do you have any free time? Then you're putting in like 40 hours on games. You got so much going on. You're at MAGFest. You're at TwitchCon. You're like everywhere. And at, I'm sure, a crazy wrestling schedule. So how do you do it?
Sleep is the cousin of death, and I don't like that family.
Word.
I don't sleep a lot. I have like 1 or 2 days a week where I'll try to get like a good chunk in, but it doesn't happen. So this is my friend BJ. BJ, stand up. Say hello.
Yo, BJ.
So BJ came up here with me from Atlanta, and like 2 days before, so we play Final Fantasy 14 a lot. Yeah, trying to get back in. So like 2 days before we were playing and we're talking on Discord, and I was like, we gotta sleep a lot tomorrow because we're not gonna sleep while we're at MAGFest really. So let's get our sleep in the day before. Smart idea. Yeah. Tell me why the next day we're playing Final Fantasy until 3 a.m. Went to sleep at 4 a.m. It's amazing. But yeah, it's I don't know. That's what I do at home. So I have a kid. He's very young. He's 1.5, and so I have to do dad stuff when I'm at home, and it's fantastic, and I love it. But we have a nanny who helps out because there's lots of stuff to do. So sometimes I'll take like an hour or two and go film for the YouTube stuff, or whether it's doing Twitch or anything like that. But then when I'm on the road, like I'm just filming stuff while I'm like in whatever hotel, while we're in the arenas. I'll find a room and just like clear it out, get a table and some chairs, and like, okay, this is the game room, and I'll just bring people in that have some time, and we'll do stuff that way. But honestly, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's not really a question of like how do you make time for something. It's like if you want something bad enough, like you find the time. So it's like you have to be honest with yourself about it. So like people will ask like, oh, you know, when you're doing, because like we're breaking into Twitch right now. So one of my friends was saying like, oh, you know, like I wish I could do that. Like you can. You have to be honest with yourself. Like, do you actually want to? Because like I want to learn Japanese. My mom, when I was a kid, every Christmas for like 6 years, she'd get me like a how to speak Japanese, like a book, CDs, whatever. I'm 32 years old at this point. I know no Japanese. But it's because I have to be honest with myself. No, nani. That means what? So I know a little bit.
One down.
Yeah.
75 million to go.
So like once you're honest with yourself, like I enjoy the idea of being able to speak Japanese, but I don't actually want to put the work in. So that means I don't actually want it. So that is how I'll answer that question. Good sir.
Good question. Let's get that foam number one hand. Anyone outside the main roster you want to have a match with?
I mean, yeah, everybody in NXT is like so dope. There's just everybody. I'm trying to think. Velveteen would be cool. But see, that's the thing. It's like Velveteen, Adam Cole, Ricochet, like everybody down there is awesome. But the thing that's the most interesting is there's like 60, 80 more people that you guys haven't even seen yet that are so dope. Yeah.
Yep.
So you know what? I have an answer. Angelo Dawkins.
Ooh.
From the Street Profits.
Okay.
So he got to develop. He's been down there for 6 years, I think, now. And he's finally doing stuff with the Street Profits. And he's what they won tag titles, Evolve Championships, a little while ago. So I've been able to watch him come up because he kind of got signed, and it was the first time that he was away from home, and so I know what it's like to kind of deal with that, be in that position. So I kind of like befriended him, and so he was always very cool and just very hungry and wanting to learn, and just never really getting that shot to go to like the next level. So I would very much like to have a match with him to show him the things that I've been able to learn while I've been up here to maybe help him out a little bit. Good
answer. All right, front row, yes.
I have a good question I like, but my girlfriend has a better one.
Oh. I thought this was like a bit for a second.
Well.
Like
I've always thought the New Day would be an awesome Saturday morning cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, if it were to be a Saturday morning cartoon, what missions or adventures would you guys go on? What would be awesome?
Oh, that's
So-
great. Saturday morning cartoon, The New Day.
So when I was in TNA, I may have written a pilot for a Saturday morning cartoon.
Of course you did.
And then TNA didn't want it. So then when I got to WWE, I rewrote it. And then they didn't want it for the network, and I was very sad. So it's sitting in a pile over here in a Dropbox. But so in this version, we would most likely fight the evil Brock Lesnar. Okay. Oh, we only have 10 minutes? Okay. But
10 minutes?
we would, so
Oh.
I'm doing the quickest recap of this episode. So it's, how do I do this fast? Okay, so inside the episode, so the point of the cartoon was to take guys and girls who were on like the lower end of the card, you put them on the cartoon, and it's essentially like a Power Rangers-esque, Ninja Turtles-esque type of show. So you have one bad guy who has all 5 powers. And each of the people have 1 power. So together, they have one extra power that the bad guy doesn't have, which is teamwork.
No.
So we have the lower people on the lower end of the card in those 5 spots, and they're fighting this big bad guy, right? And then when those guys and girls get moved to like the mid card, or they get into like the main part of the show, we bump them out and have new people from the undercard in those positions on the cartoon. So then kids go, oh, I know that face. I like them. I bought their figure when they were a superhero, and I also like seeing them on Raw and SmackDown. Now we're creating stars on multimedia platforms. But they said no.
Wow, I had a question, but I want to get to everybody else's question. Let's rapid fire it. You, sir. Yes.
What are the video games you are most looking forward to in the coming years to play?
Oh, years?
Yeah, what are you looking for this year?
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
Good one.
And I've heard and like seen so much buzz about Anthem. Like I want to play it. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
Is that coming this year?
I think so.
Okay, they've been
Anthem
talking
drops
about
this
it for a
year.
while. It looks really good. Head in the back there.
So, going back to your TNA time, I wanted to say, or ask, like, would you ever consider breaking out the old consequences Creed outfit?
So we did a spin on it when we rocked the American flag gear. That was like my spin to kind of like throw back to that. But look at the big hat.
The big hat.
Maybe one day. I'm not opposed to it. We have to get the binacorn because she popped me when she walked in.
Yes.
Thank you. Ooh. Cosplay, yes. No, this is my normal. Get up. No, cosplay definitely came first. So I went to Dragon Con when I was 17. So Dragon Con's a huge con in Atlanta. It's like 50, 60,000 people. It's all fan run. It's just there to party however you wish to party and hang out with people. So I went when I was 17, and I was like, I feel very out of place because I heard they had a wrestling show. Went to see it, and there's like, oh, what is everyone wearing? I need an outfit. And so we went the next year, and we didn't have outfits. And so me and my friend Mosley, we went to the Walmart, and you know how on the front of like underwear boxes, there's like the model who's like, so we walked past it, and he goes, why don't we just be these guys? I'm like, all right, cool. And so we just wore like little thong underwear, and people were like, what are you? Like, we're underwear models. I'm like, oh, okay. And so every year, so we've been doing that since I was 18. I'm 32 now. So like I love cosplay. So my whole thing is, like I said, I want to mash all the things I enjoy in my life together. So wrestling, cosplay, video games, anything that I can add to that ball. Like we're all the same kind of nerd. You know what I mean? We all got made fun of and got past the making fun of, and we're adults who still like that stuff, whether it's wrestling, video games, anime. And so like we're all here on the other side together. And now we're all kind of in charge, and everybody hates it.
Yeah. True. Your question.
Sorry? Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a trading card typo that says Kofi Kingston as you. So this kind of happens. So how often do you get mistaken for Kofi Kingston? Is that a real thing?
It's been less and less, but for a time, whichever black guy I was on a team with, I would be mistaken for. And so my stock answer now, so last week, I was driving to the building and someone, Kofi! And I always say, I'm the other black guy. But then there's like a long pause. Woods! They have to rifle through their mind like
wait,
which one's the
other black guy? Wait a minute. The fan in the back.
Oh, okay, yes. That's one of my favorite quotes ever. But it's not my quote. It's this guy named Shuffle T, who's a battle rapper in an organization called Don't Flop. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't get the shout out in on TV, but when that was said, so if you don't know the quote, it's the roof is not my son, but I'll raise it. So they had like a bad bars battle. And so once that hit TV and people were like tweeting me. I'm just tweeting him like the message like, no, this is his line, this is his thing. And so he was just always so cool about it. And it's like, oh, thank you. But then people started sending that they were using it as like their senior quotes. And I'm like, what is happening to life right now? What? So I'm sending these to him and he's like doing the same thing. Like, what? How did you do this? Like, I don't know. People like what you said. So thank you.
I liked it. You right here, glasses. No, the lady behind you. I'm sorry. Yes.
That was. Touche.
Dead.
My dream cosplay is to do knights. So it's like my favorite Sega Saturn game. If you don't know, it's like a big purple jester, and he like does it.
Yeah.
He's good.
The
He's good.
gentleman right here in the glasses. Yes, you.
Have you had a chance to see Wrestle Kingdom yet?
I have not. I've seen snippets of it, but I've heard. Sorry?
Have you taken what you've seen so far?
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
New Japan is so awesome. It's always awesome.
You in the end here.
Huh?
What's your craziest, most insane travel story?
Ooh. I think the last one, I was stuck on an airplane on the tarmac for 7 hours. Ooh. And I was trying to document it on Twitter as best I could. Oh, yeah. Because like, I don't know, I think that some of the things that I see are like fever dreams. If I'm in a place too long, I think I start to hallucinate because I'm kind of crazy. And so things that seem small turn into these big things. Like, so at one point, people are trying to get off this airplane and people are freaking out. And the stewardess in my brain, she doesn't walk to the front, okay. She sprints up there and talks to everyone. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? And like, it gets very intense. But they said we have to finish.
But you do have a couple more events going on, right? What's your schedule? I turned
my
phone
schedule
off so it
is
wouldn't
this.
ring.
I'll say my schedule and then we have to leave to the next thing. Come to autograph session tomorrow or tomorrow at from 4:30 to 5:30. Okay, it's sold out.
Sold out.
There's another panel. It's a Rand's panel that I'll be on.
Oh, NPC panel 6 p.m.
6
You'll be on
p.m.
that?
6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's in panels 2.
Panels 2.
And then I'll be at the MAGFest versus game show. It's at panels 3, 7:45 to 9:30 p.m.
That's gonna be cool.
And then after that, I'm gonna destroy this guy in Tekken.
Thank you so much, Austin Creed. Make some noise, y'all!
Thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it.
New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks.